Hi y'all and welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title, I'll be doing another reaction video. Not reaction video. Not a reaction video, sorry. I will be doing my thoughts and review on the Survivor Series PLE that happened uh tonight. Although it happened on an earlier time, the pre-show, well, the countdown as it's called now, started too, and then the actual PLE itself started at 4, and yeah, it ended like a little bit after 7. So yeah, now I know I haven't put out a video in a few days. I think it was like 5 days ago since the last time well, according to my channel, I think it was like 5 days ago since the last time I posted a video. It was mainly because yeah, I just didn't have the energy, and then of course Thursday was Thanksgiving, so I wanted to spend time. I spent time with my family, like my mom, my stepdad, my brother, but I don't really um, see like my grandma, my grandpa, my uncle, and my cousin that often. So yeah, I wanted to spend time with the rest of the family, and that's what I did. And then ate a lot of food, got put into a food coma, and I was tired as hell. Um, so yeah. But yeah, and then usually I would do like a preview my preview predictions, the day before the PLE, but I completely forgot about that yesterday, and I didn't realize that until I was laying down about to go to bed, and then I was like, oh crap. I was like, I forgot to do the video. I'm like, I'm not gonna do a video now, because I had to get up at 5. For work, I had to be there early. Well, earlier than usual because we were opening earlier than usual. So yeah, so I had to make sure I got enough rest. But here I am. I'm back. Um, and yeah. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing my thoughts on this year's Survivor Series Wargames. That was in Vancouver, Canada. Um, Now, there were 5 matches. They were the two War Games matches, along with the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. LA defending his belt against Nakamura, and then Gunther and Damien fighting for Gunther's belt. Now, overall, I mean, I did enjoy it. It wasn't, in my opinion, like, I still enjoyed it. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I did compared to the other PLEs of this year. But it was still enjoyable. Like, I would still watch it back. But it's like I also watch it back. It's not like one of the PLEs that I would be like I would have it on like in the background. I wouldn't pay attention to it. Like, I would still fully watch it. Um, but um, yeah. It was still pretty good. Yeah. Let's go ahead and start with the first match, which was the women's War Games match. It was Team Rhea, which had Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Bayley, Io Sky, and Naomi. Which was, by the way, it was her birthday. Which explained the party hat, because I was confused on why she had a party hat, and then once the commentators mentioned that it was her birthday, oh, okay, that makes sense. And I thought it was cute that the crowd was chanting "Happy Birthday" to Naomi. I thought that was so cute. But yeah, it was Team Rhea versus Team Liv, which of course had Liv, Raquel, Nia, Candice LeRae, and Tiffany. This match was all kinds of stuff. It was weird, wonky, definitely messy, but it was still good and entertaining. Like, it was just a whole bunch of things. It was still a whole bunch of things. Like, the first half, it was definitely weird and wonky, and there were definitely several miss timing. Definitely like a few mishaps. And then a toilet seat was used as a weapon multiple times, which I was like, I have never seen a toilet seat be used as a weapon in general. It's like people have said like use everything but the kitchen sink. It's like, well, clearly in WWE they ain't never used the toilet seat either. It's like the kitchen sink has been used at some point in WWE as a weapon, but no one never used the toilet seat until tonight. Um, but yeah, like I said, the first half of the match it was very weird. It was wonky. A lot of a lot of missed timings. And I was just like, I was still enjoying it, but I was just like, what in the hell is going on? I was like, what is happening? Uh, but I was still enjoying it. Like it wasn't cringe for me to watch. Like it was still messy, but it was still enjoyable to watch. Like it wasn't to the point where I was like, ooh, I don't know if I like this match. I still enjoyed it. But the second half, which was kind of more like when like the last people, I would say like maybe like the last. I'll probably say maybe when I'll probably maybe say when EO, definitely when Rhea, he lived on to the match. I feel like that's when the match definitely got better. Definitely, especially action wise, it definitely got better. It was more, it was less messy, and the timing was better. Um, and there was definitely some memorable crazy spots. Um, for example, all the time Bianca's braid was used. Bianca was using her own braid. Bianca was using her braid on people. People using Bianca's braid on people. I remember Bailey using one of Bianca's braids. She was yanking it while using it as a weapon onto someone. And I was like, "Damn, Bailey!" I'm like, "You yanking on Bianca's braid as if you fighting her." Um, and then Naya started whipping Bianca with her own braid as if a parent was whooping a child. She's like, "How does that feel?" That was hilarious to me. But yeah, and then like the toilet seat got broken. Rhea broke the toilet seat on the back of Raquel, and I was like, God damn, ouch. Um, and then of course the most crazy spot was when Io on one side was climbing up top, and there was already a trash can up there that she already brought up top. She was climbing up to the top where the trash can that she had placed where it was. On the other side was Tiffany Stratton, who was also climbing up the top of the cage, and then and then meanwhile everyone was brawling like on both sides of the ring. There's like a group of people fighting on one side, on the side that Tiffany was on, and the other group was fighting on the side that Io was on. And then Io put down the trash can, which was of course like callbacks to her previous spots in War Games with the trash can. Then she turned around and proceeded to do a moonsault with the trash can while still being in the trash can onto it, onto the group of people that was on her side. And then meanwhile on the other side, Tiffany does a swanton bomb from the top of the cage onto everyone else that was on her side. I was like, y'all crazy as hell, especially E. I was like, you crazy as hell. I'm like, that's putting a lot of trust into your coworkers. That's putting a lot of trust. I'm like, you gotta have a lot of trust in people to be able, um, for you to fully do a move like that, and expect them to catch you, which they did, which that was not gonna be a problem. But yeah, and then at some point Nia was um planning on putting Bianca through the table with her finisher, the Annihilator, and then Bianca got up from the table. Then both her and Naomi poundbombed Nia through the table, and that took out Nia for the rest of the match. And then Io, like out of nowhere, used a fire extinguisher that was brought to the match, blinded basically almost all of the opposite team. And in the midst of that, Rhea handcuffed Raquel onto the rope so that she wouldn't be able to do anything. And then you know it came down to like Rhea and Liv going at it, and then Rhea ended up hitting the Riptide from the top rope through the table onto Liv, and then yeah, Rhea pinned Liv to get the win for her team. Was I surprised that Rhea's team won? No. Was I surprised? I wasn't really too sure on who was gonna get the pin, but was I surprised that Rhea pinned Liv? Not really. Although it's like, in my opinion, it's just like it's just making Liv weak in my opinion, because it's just basically because it's like because like Raquel was handcuffed, so she couldn't do anything, and of course, and there was no Dominic or any other member of Judgment Day uh, that that got involved, which I'm kind of glad that didn't happen. Um, so it just kind of made it look weak because it's given that she can't do anything on her own. So it's just like, come on now. Like, I don't mind Liv being healed, but it's like at least have her beat Rhea like clean. Like like have her beat Rhea clean and still be a heel. Like that would make her look stronger in my opinion. But it is what it is. But yeah, we know that's going to continue on the saga of Rhea and Liv, which I'm kind of over. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like I was invested in it, and but now I'm just kind of over it. Now I kind of want this story. I kind of want this feud to end so that Liv and Rhea can move on, no matter who's champion. If I'm gonna be honest. Um, but yeah, like I said, it was a messy match, but it was still entertaining. Like it was not a bad match at all. But yeah, so so the next match was the one-on-one match for the United States Championship. Um, the challenger Nakamura, who recently returned, and set his sights onto LA Knight and have attacked him multiple times, and then missed him on the SmackDown before Survivor Series after he won against Andrade. Um, goes against the champion, LA Knight. Um, I thought the match was decent. It was not the best match for LA Knight, and it was not the best match for Nakamura. I wasn't really, I wasn't really into the match, but I thought like, I wasn't really into the match, to be honest. But I still thought that it was decent. I just wasn't invested into it. Um, and then and yeah, there was like a couple of big spots like the back suplex, the avalanche back suplex, and then when Nakamura did like a reverse DDT onto the onto the steel that's in the middle between the two rings. That one, now that got a reaction. I said, ooh, ooh. But yeah, at the end after he did that, he hit the Kinshasa onto LA Knight and got the 1, 2, 3, and Shinsuke Nakamura is now the new U.S. champion. I'm glad he did win a belt. I'm glad he is a champion again because to be honest, like when he returned, I mean I was like, oh, okay, I haven't seen you in quite some time. But it wasn't like I was excited when he returned, and that's not his fault. It's just how WWE has booked him. To be honest, since he was on the main roster, because at any major storyline he's had, they always had him lose. Like his feud with AJ Styles, he lost overall, and then when he rebranded, and was end up winning the crown from Corbin, who was king of the ring during the time, and he was with Rick Boogs. It's like he had gained momentum, and he did end up being Intercontinental Champion, I believe, until he eventually lost it. Um, um, but yeah, and then unfortunately when Boogs got injured, that kind of derailed his momentum. That was no one's fault. It was just an unfortunate situation that kind of derailed Nakamura's momentum, and then he rebranded himself again, and then turned heel, and then had this big storyline with Seth Rollins for World Heavyweight Championship, um, and yeah, and Nakamura again overall lost the feud. So it was kind of like when he returned, it was hard to take it seriously. If I'm gonna be honest, like even him returning as a dangerous heel, um, again because it's like I can't take you seriously because of the way you've been booked. Like any storyline you've been on, especially if it's a major storyline, you end up losing at the end. So hopefully with him winning the U.S. Championship, hopefully that'll help help him get like more momentum building up, and then hopefully WWE doesn't fumble the bag with him. But just I have no faith in WWE. May never know. I do. I mean I do have faith in Triple H, but you may never know because Triple H is not perfect when it comes to booking. There are some things that he still does need to work on regarding the booking. Um, but yeah, let's just hope that um, he does have a good reign, and it also helps him be taken more seriously. Um, but yeah, the next match was the triple threat match for the Continental Championship. The champion Braun Breaker defending it against Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. Um, and this was a really good match. That match was so good. All three of those men beat the hell out of each other. Like they did not pull out any stops, and to be honest, the action was fast paced. There was no like lockups, none of that. They just end up throwing hands instantly. And then to be honest, it was a good start for Kaiser. Regarding of like trying to go the more singles route. It was definitely a good start, especially with his first shot of championship gold, singles wise. Um, but yeah, the whole crowd was behind Sheamus. Sheamus or Braun, but definitely Sheamus. Um, and there was definitely a bunch of hard hitting moments, and then close near falls, and then at the end, Kaiser Kaiser after using the shillelagh multiple times onto Sheamus, was ready to put him away. Um, and he did. He did hit his finishing move a maneuver. I don't know the name of his finishing move if he does have a name for it, but it was like some variation of a DDT. And then Braun Breaker from out of nowhere hit one of the most hellacious spears I have ever seen in a long time. Braun Breaker has like the meanest, like one of the meanest spears. Like it's one of those spears that will cut you in half. Like you remember how Rhino used to spear with his gore, or Goldberg in his WCW days on how he used to spear. Yeah, yeah, most definitely that. And then after he took out Kaiser with the spear, then he hit Sheamus with the spear, and then pinned Sheamus. And yeah, Braun Breaker still retained. Um, and yeah, like I said, it was a really good match. I definitely enjoyed it. It was the first match where I was just like that I thought was really really good in my opinion. Um, and then the next match after that was the Gunther Damian match for Gunther's World Heavyweight Championship. Now, if I'm gonna be honest, um, it was still a pretty good match. It was still a pretty good match, but I liked this SummerSlam match more. I feel like I was, because even though I knew who was gonna win at SummerSlam, I was still more invested in the match at SummerSlam than I was in that match at Survivor Series. If I'm gonna be honest. But granted, they still had a good match. Like I still enjoyed it. I just wasn't as invested in the match as I was in the match at SummerSlam. I think it was because I fully know. I think it was because I fully knew what was going to happen, and to be honest, how I reacted to what happened, regards to the ending of it. But first, they were going back and forth. Damien was dominating a little bit at first, and then eventually Damien, at some point, hurt his shoulder, and then that's when Gunther took over and began to dominate in this match. And yeah, that was his main focus. Damien's shoulder and his arm, and then Damien started to fight back, and then they continued went back and forth, and then at some point, both of them was on the top turnbuckle, and Gunther was about to hit Damien with a superplex, but Damien countered last minute, shoved Gunther from the top rope, but in the meantime, also fell down himself and hurt his and potentially hurt his other shoulder. And then while Damien was like laid out, and he told him, "Give me a sec," um, and the ref went back to the ring and was talking to Gunther or whatever. He had his attention to Gunther. All of a sudden, Finn Balor came out of nowhere, and it hit the coup de grace onto Damien from the steps, and then Damien was taunting, posing, feeling himself, and then Gunther came out and squashed that real quick, kicked the hell out of Finn, kicked him straight in the face, and I was like, good. I was like, good. That's what you get, Finn. I was like, good. I'm glad Gunther did that to you, but then Gunther brought Damien back into the ring, hit him with the powerbomb, and then hit him, and then got him in sleeper hold, and then Damien didn't tap out, but he passed out. So yeah. Gunther retained by technical submission. But yeah, it was more of the yeah, it was just more of I'm just tired of the whole thing of Damien and Rhea's beef with Judgment Day. If I'm gonna be honest, because I'm tired. I'm kind of tired of it. It's old because to be honest, it's like Finn and Damien. They had their fight. Well, they had that match at Bad Blood. Damien won, and then to be honest, it's like switch gears to Damien and Gunther having like rekindling their feud for SummerSlam again, and then and I knew Finn was gonna get involved. So when Finn got involved, I was just like, that's what I was. I was just like, because it's like I saw it coming. I saw that coming once I saw that Damien became number one contender to fight Gunther. I saw that coming. I knew Finn was gonna get involved. So yeah, like I said, it was still a pretty good match, but I prefer the SummerSlam match more. But yeah. Then it went to the main event, which was the Mitch Wargames match, the LG Bloodline, including CM Punk, going against the New Bloodline. And this was a really good match too. This was really really good, and the storytelling was really good as well. Um, like the dynamics of talking about like what's gonna happen like between Punk and Reigns. Will they be able to be cordial and coexist and all that? And there were little moments that made people, including me, be like, "Oh, oh, oh, okay, then the pettiness." I'm like, the pettiness is starting, but yeah, um, but yeah, they went all out, and then the new Bloodline was definitely dominant. Like like the OG Bloodline would like have a little bit of will have like a little moment of dominance, like whenever they have like a new person coming to come in into War Games, and then just like that, especially when Jacob Fatu got involved into the match, just like that, the momentum for the OG Bloodline ended. But it definitely did change when Roman got involved. When Roman finally entered into the cage, and the War Games officially started. But Roman had to climb in to the cage because Solo locked the door. Locked the door himself. So yeah, War Games officially started, and then they continued going at it. And then at some point, Reigns accidentally speared Punk, and then I was for sure that Punk was gonna end up being petty and hitting Roman with the GTS. I'm surprised he didn't. Um, because I was for sure that because I was for sure that was gonna happen. If that wasn't gonna happen during the match, I thought it was gonna be I thought it was gonna happen sometime after the match. For like drama effect. Um, but yeah, and then they started ganging up on Roman, and then put Roman on one of the two tables that they brought out, that they brought into the cage. And then Bronson Reed was climbed up top of the cage to do his finisher, which was the tsunami splash off the cage through the table. But as Bronson Reed was mid dive, um, Punk grabbed Roman just in time, grabbed Roman just in time, and then basically saved him. um, and Bronson Reed ended up landed through the table and hard onto the canvas. I said, "Ooh," I was like, "Ooh, damn, that looked like that hurt." I know it hurt. I know it hurt. They're gonna be feeling it. They're gonna feel it all throughout all of this week. And then and then and then there was a little mishap. Um um Jacob Fatu was gonna do his signature springboard moonsault, which he already did earlier in the match. But he actually missed, and he hurt his knee. Um which I think it might have been the same knee he hurt when he did the splash onto Cody at SummerSlam, through the announce table. I think it might be the same knee. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, and then they continue going at it. Um, Tama Tonga got taken out. Tonga Loa got taken out, and then Jacob Fatu got taken out by an Uso splash from Jimmy Uso off the top of the cage through the table. Jimmy Uso had better luck than Bronson Reed. So Jacob Fatu got taken out. So it was just, and then Bronson Reed was still out. That him going through the table, um, just took him out for the rest of the match. So it was just Solo by himself against the OG Bloodline, and they had him surrounded. He got super kicked by Jay, then Jimmy, then both the Usos at the same time. Then he got hit with the hula kick by Sammy, and then the GTS by Punk, and then got speared by Roman, and then Roman got the 1, 2, 3 for his team. Now we all know that this ain't gonna be over. Roman and Jamie still gonna be beefing with Solo and the new Bloodline. I don't think Jay. I hope Jay doesn't get involved again. I hope Jay does his own thing. Goes back to do his own thing. Same thing with Sammy. I know Punk is gonna go back to do his own thing, and he told Heyman and he has said that Heyman owes him one, for helping out. But then after they got the win, they celebrated, hugged each other. Roman and Punk shook hands, and hugged Paul Heyman, and then they did, and they posed in the ring, and then they posed again, like on the rampway, and then that's how Survivor Series ended. Now, like I said, now my final thoughts. Like I said in the beginning, I did enjoy Survivor Series still. It was still pretty good. Not as good as some of the other PLEs this year, but it was still pretty good. There wasn't really anything like cringy or anything I would like skip over, or I would be like, yeah, I'll just do something so I don't have to watch it. um, um, yeah. I would give it maybe. Might give it maybe like. Probably maybe give it like a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Like, it was still pretty good, but it wasn't like it wasn't like, oh my god, like it wasn't like anything like spectacular. But yeah, that'll be the end of this video. Comment down below your thoughts on this year's Survivor Series. Did you, excuse me, did you like it or did you not like it? Tell me why down in the comments. And also let me know what was your favorite match. And don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell. And I'll see you next time. Bye.